Patrick, I thought you had recorded, and oh, you're going now.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm
going now.
I'm follow it for YouTube, Joel Saints. That's my buddy Bobby Lugosi. That's my buddy Alan Gallant. That's my buddy Patrick McCray. We're here to talk the 1966 Batman movie starring Adam West, Burt Ward, Lee Merriweather, who plays Catwoman in this movie. No, she did not play Catwoman in the series. That was Julie Lamar. The reason that Julie is not here in this movie is because she had other commitments. Cesar Romero is here, though, as the Joker, Burgess Meredith as the Penguin, Frank Gorshin as the Riddler.
Gorshin,
yeah. Alan Napier as Alfred. Neil Hamilton as Commissioner Gordon. Stafford Roach as Chief O'Hara. Yeah, so there's a lot of who's who in this movie, which is really, really cool. So this movie, for those who don't know, this movie the production company was Greenton Productions, distributed by 20th Century Fox. This was released back in July 30th, 1966 in the United States. Budget was $1.378 million. Box office $3.9 million in rentals. I don't know what it says rentals, but okay.
They rented them.
You rented them to the theaters, the reads, and then probably a lot more if you added in all the the VHS rentals that happened later and all of that sort of thing. This movie's made a lot of money.
A lot of people.
The thing for theaters you have to add in is the concessions they made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
a lot of popcorn sold during this.
It's true. It's popcorn and candy bars. Soda pop.
Okay, Bobby first. When did you first see this movie?
When I used to watch this movie like every other weekend. My mom would take me to the video store when I was like 6 years old, like 5-6 years old. And I swear, for like a year, every time we would go, I would rent the 60s Batman movie till she finally broke down and got it for me on videotape.
Mm-hmm.
Like this, like when I was little, this was my movie.
Nice. Patrick, when did you first see this?
I was probably about 8 or 9. Ted Turner liked to show it a lot on TBS.
Mm-hmm.
And the syndicated Batman was not easy to come by in Louisville. The channel that had it was the Classic Channel, it was the CBS affiliate. And so we wouldn't get it very often. They would just sprinkle it into the schedule now and then. So it was this really special thing when, oh my God, there's a few episodes of Batman on. And so to have a movie, oh my God, and a good movie. It was great. It's just like, oh yeah, this is perfect. From the shark, which is this ideal opening, all the way through, it just hits every note right. And so I was probably 9 or 10, and I thrilled.
Yeah. Alan, when did you first see this?
Well, I was familiar with the television series before I ever saw the film. And probably saw the film whenever it was whenever the earliest time it was available on network television, which would have been probably a couple of years later. I don't remember exactly the date, but I do remember watching the television series twice a week because it was typically cliffhanger one show, and then you came back a couple of days later and you get the conclusion of that cliffhanger. So,
which was a brilliant.
It was great.
Basically a 1-hour program.
And the show would have gone on further. It was all a bunch of executives bumping into each other, trying to renegotiate it. And they wanted to do it again, but then they found out the Batcave had been destroyed. So they said, we're not doing it again.
You know what? Cy Tomashoff could have built one.
I'm sure he could have, out of mahogany.
Pardon us, Diablos. You can have it back in a few months, but
that's right. That's sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
We need the desk too, okay? And we're going to computerize it.
Oh my God! I first saw this about when I was 10, and I saw it on VHS. My parents owned the VHS, which was really nice. I actually saw the series first because when I was a kid, the series was everywhere in syndication.
It was. Yeah.
And I mean, really easy to find. It was easier to find the series The movie, it was pretty easy to find that too. You could find it in any rental store at the time. So really fun movie. It's definitely a movie aimed for kids. This Batman version is, and Adam West does a really good job of playing Bruce Wayne, Batman. What did you guys think of Adam West's Batman, Bobby?
I think he's amazing.
It's the only answer.
Yeah, he really, because he has that. He's able to walk that fine line of being really funny, but also being very heroic. When you're little, you don't see how funny he is and how his brilliant comic timing. But you're like when you're a child, and frankly, like when you're a child at heart, you see the hero. You see like and I think because like it is more simple than like the later Batman movies. He seems like Batman. He seems like a hero that like anyone could look up to.
Yeah.
And then he has that the great comic delivery too, because he actually got discovered by the producer Bill Dozier from doing a commercial for Nesquik chocolate milk, and it was like a James Bond parody. And he has this like inflatable it's like some like animal raft thing that inflates around him. And it says, "I guess anyone could get rich quick." Toodaloo. And he does it it's so fun, and I could see why they cast him, because he's able to be so funny, but also it makes it feel so true.
Yeah. Patrick, what did you think of Batman here? Adam West's Batman.
He is Batman.
Yeah.
He is Batman. I mean, for me, anyway. And I can put him through some mental tests. I can imagine him as the Batman of old. A bat. I shall become a bat. That guy. And I can imagine him in a lot of the Neil Adams stories. I can imagine Adam West credibly, carrying out those storylines in the 70s, if he were called upon to do it, and I think he could. So he is my Batman now and for all times.
Yeah. Alan, what did you think of Adam West's Batman?
Well, Greenway Productions and West and the directors and everybody sort of had a good grasp on what they wanted to do, which is as close to the comic book as they felt they could get. Plus, they're putting their own stamp on it, somewhat, because the comic book in the 1960s was much more lighthearted, much more. It was Batman without the earlier double pistols that he used to actually carry in the 40s and so on. It was Batman who got into scrapes with weird, humorous villains sometimes. And his relationship to Dick, aka Robin, was
that character. Yes.
It was that chummy sort of thing that you see in the TV series. So DC had laid the groundwork for what they did with it in terms of a television show. The thing that makes Batman in that series obviously is Adam West, and to a lesser degree, but not that much lesser degree, a lot of the other characters, the supporting characters, including Robin. But he's sort of the vanguard with it. His timing, his self-importance of, which as you said, Bobby, it's as a kid, it's just total heroism. As you get older, you see the parody in it, you see the humor in it, you start to see the overly serious sort of tone that he takes, which he's totally consistent with. He doesn't really comment on it. He doesn't wink at the audience or do anything like that. It's just the style. He dominates that style, and everybody else just kind of follows along. And you see it in this film when they all get together to try and figure out what the riddle's all about, and everybody is doing the same thing. They're all like dramatic pauses and, oh, good, great Caesar's ghost, and all of this sort of parodic melodrama stuff that's going on, which makes it's absolutely fascinating for anybody to watch. You know?
Adam West takes these as foregone conclusions. Of course, it's a ballpoint banana. Of
Yes,
course. There can be no
of
other.
course, boy wonder.
What else would it
Yeah,
be?
yeah. Like,
Adam West does not get enough credit for developing what is going to become the tried and true formula of the Batman we're going to see later on, really, in the movies. Because when he's playing Bruce Wayne, again, he doesn't know the girl is Catwoman that he's romancing and falling in love with, in a sense. And he deals with the counterpoint of, okay, they have this girl kidnapped who I care about, and I don't want to see them kill her or hurt her. So I have to sort of be careful with what I do. Being Batman and being Bruce Wayne here has its consequences. I think this Batman, the OG Batman, if you will, Adam West, doesn't get enough credit for, because that's going to be a formula later on.
yeah, and he has an ethos. He has an ethos that's very strong.
Yeah.
You know, and that permeates Bruce Wayne as well.
Yeah.
He's convinced that Aunt Harriet is Catwoman.
Yeah.
And that's why he's so attracted to her. To both of them, really.
Yeah.
No, I really think Adam West's Batman believes that if you looked at the IDs of these characters, they don't have other names. As like on the Penguin's driver's license, it just says Penguin, comma, the.
Yeah.
And that's
Or
his name.
Penguin.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's his name. Woman, comma, cat.
Yeah, and it's like, so in the service of the parody, he is not the world's greatest detective. He doesn't always hit.
The beauty of it.
Yeah.
He's so good at this weird minutia,
Yeah.
but things that are just painfully obvious.
Yeah.
Like down to Frank Gorshin just not even bothering with the mask after a while.
Yeah.
And he still can't figure out who he is.
Who is he in real life? I can't tell. All those question marks.
He could be anyone.
Yeah.
Which is a line that really should have been in a Batman episode.
Mm-hmm.
He could be anyone around us.
Could be anyone, Robin. That face is impossible to place.
Although I gotta say, I love Frank Gorshin, but I love John Astin just as much.
It's a really, well, I love John Astin anyway, and almost everything he's done. I mean, Evil Roy Slade to Gomez to all of that stuff that he did in the 60s and 70s. It's wonderful stuff. So yeah, I agree. I think they're on an equal level for sure. I think that Gorshin's his energy of his insanity is a bit higher. He kind of, he's bouncing around, and I think he kind of builds, when he and the Joker are together in this movie, they're both like off the walls.
Stopping each other.
They're just way up here, energetically speaking. And Burgess Meredith's going, no, I don't think so. I'm going to stay down here on a lower level going, wah, wah, wah,
And it's perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect because it's a counterpoint.
Man, I like that scene when the Penguin's telling them to make the messages clear when they were sending the ransom messages to all the different countries, and he says, "Make those messages clear," and then they have like Joker and Miller both have the laugh off with each other.
Yeah,
that's such an amazing moment.
We'll make them clear.
What did you think of Cesar Romero's The Joker, Bobby?
He is my favorite Joker. I love Cesar Romero.
Yes.
I his walk, this incredible. For those who don't know, Cesar Romero, he was a great dancer in films and had this amazing Hollywood film career. He was known as the Latin Lover, and he was an amazing dancer, and that's how he got his start in show business. And you could tell he was a dancer. He's older here. He's 59. You would never know it. And there's this rhythm to the way he walks and the way he moves. And very light. Very light in his feet. And you get and then there's this energy. Even when he's not talking, you just see it's like he's ready to burst out and laugh at any given moment. And the laugh he has and the energy in his voice. And oh my gosh. My favorite thing he does in this entire movie is the scene with Commodore Schmidlap. And Commodore Schmidlap says, "Your face has the most ghastly pallor." and then he just kind of does this, like he's shocked. Why would how dare you say that?
Dare you say that? Wear white makeup. What are you talking about?
So I think he's an amazing Joker, and you could tell in all the interviews you see with him, he talks about how much fun it was, and like you could tell he's having a ball being the Joker, and it resonates when you watch the movie. It's like, wow, the Joker, he loves being a criminal. Like he loves doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
It's joy. Yes, there's
joy. He's a spirit of joy in the movie. And then
there's a gaiety about him.
Yes.
Yeah. Patrick, your thoughts on Cesar Ramirez, the Joker?
Did you ever see her Romero?
Ooh.
So what are you calling her Romero? Cesar Romero is amazing in this. I mean, he's this force of energy. He's great. I mean, in all of these years of just sort of kind of vaguely almost being in the closet, just leading to this explosion of energy where he can just finally be whatever he wants.
Out of the closet. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, he really is.
It really is. I mean, for those who don't know, Cesar Romero was a favorite squire for unattached women in Hollywood to events. He was affectionately known as Butch.
They were very safe in Caesar's company.
Yes, they were. Butch was gay, but he also gives one of the great coded performances as the Joker.
Oh yeah,
it is a coded performance, but I mean, it's also on its surface what it is too. I mean, it's both. It's all of those things.
Now, Jewel, if you were a Latin actor in the 40s in Hollywood and you wanted a career, Caesar was the way to the career. And this according to Bose Hadley, who's an amazing historian. And the only Latin actor of that generation who just refused to play Caesar's game was Desi Arnaz. He would have nothing to do with it.
Right.
Montalban allegedly.
Mm.
But Desi, well, I think Desi was ready to go.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe Tony Quinn a little, huh? Maybe.
Oh, I think Tony Quinn was right there. Tony Quinn. Yes, Mr. Romero.
Yes, Mr. Romero.
I think Cesar Romero lays again, Adam West laid some groundwork for things we're going to see later on in other Batman. Cesar Romero laid groundwork for a lot of other things we're going to see in other Jokers. The randomness you see with the Joker.
There are no other Jokers without Cesar Romero. John Lennon said it all begins and ends with Elvis. And for me and the Joker, it all begins and ends with Cesar Romero.
It does.
All in his shadow.
You could see traces of the laugh of the Joker is just one of the signature aspects of the character.
Yes.
And you could see aspects of his laugh in all the other Jokers.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's an amazing performance.
It does a really good job.
And Desi Arnaz wouldn't sleep with him.
Yeah, but that's okay. Desi had his own skills.
Babalu.
He slept with all the women that Butch squired around.
Everyone, yeah. When they felt safe after being out with Caesar for the evening, they called him Desi. Desi, come over.
I don't want to be quite this safe, Desi. Come on over.
Don't take her bell, if you know what I mean.
Burgess Meredith, who plays the Penguin, most known from Rocky, for playing Rocky's manager. He's also been in episodes of The Twilight Zone in his career, the original Twilight Zone, that is. Really, really enjoyed Burgess Meredith's Penguin. Again, he's written for kids, but he's a lot of fun to watch. And it's fun to see him, do all these little stunts with his body and move around and fall in the water. Because I didn't know that. I'd watched Rocky prior to this, prior to ever seeing Batman, and I didn't know that about him, that he was in Batman. My favorite movie with him is The Real Story of G.I. Joe, where he plays a reporter, foreign correspondent. Reporter.
You should watch the original film version of Mice and Men if you want to see a serious actor plying his craft.
Burgess was very serious.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Well, I've seen him in the Twilight Zone. He's
He's brilliant in that too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He's the librarian.
Yeah,
With the
he's
broken.
really great in that too.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I am so impressed that he does in this, because you could tell he's a great actor. You could tell it in every role. And as the Penguin, there's this part where he says, "Quick, run silent, run deep."
Oh
And
yeah,
his cigarette drops and he says deep. And you can't just do that. He practiced it and made sure that moment was like perfect. You know, he was a brilliant actor who brought like all these aspects to the Penguin. Again, just like Cesar Romero, he brought a special walk to it that he developed. And
there's one, Bobby. There's one thing I want to mention before you continue. There's one aside that he does, which I'm 90% sure is his own ad lib that they left in, and that's after they dehydrate all of his henchmen, and they're putting him in there, and he's talking to Catwoman. He's going, wah, 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 be careful, and they're commiserating about it, and then he does this little aside through his cigarette holder. Everyone has a mother, and it's like, that's wow. Where did that come from?
It's like he's like brilliant as a Penguin.
He is.
And his famous quack quack. At the time he had quit smoking for a few years. In the cigarette holder, it would bother his throat. So instead of brewing in the take, he would go quack quack quack.
Yeah. He kind of cough it out.
And what a brilliant way of handling that problem like a pro. Like, we're not gonna ruin the take. We're gonna work with this and make it even part of the character.
I think he had a bonus in his contract if he ended up getting hooked on cigarettes again. They had to pay him off because he had quit, like you said before, and he had been a smoker earlier in his life. But I think he did get kind of hooked on him for a couple of years and then quit again. So
I'm pretty sure you're right, because there's this like behind the scenes photo of. I was like during their premiere of Batman. I think they did like a promotional tour, and Cesar Romero and Burgess Meredith are in costume and smoking, like sitting together.
Yeah. Butch was a smoker as well. Those guys all came up in the 30s. So yeah,
it was good for you back then. I saw the doctor's ads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's white. 9 out of 10 doctors smoke Camels. Seriously, they were on the backs of magazines. It was amazing.
There are a lot of scenes in this movie, a lot of cool action sequences, a lot of fight choreography that is really well done in this movie.
The rubber shark is not one of them, but it's still funny.
The rubber shark.
The rubber shark.
Oh, the rubber shark. Yes. Okay. There was a moment of Nate just slipped in there that
Sorry.
And that's okay.
He looked like a pretty tough cookie when I was 5.
Here's the thing: when you watch this movie and you're not expecting that when you first watch that. You're not.
No.
Like them to have a rubber shark on his leg on a helicopter. I'm thinking, yeah, that was shocking.
And it was also kind of absurdist at the same time. So he's punching this thing and it's bouncing like a rubber ball, and it's clearly tied to the rope ladder, but nonetheless, it's in keeping with the whole thing, and he plays it completely straight throughout, even though it's kind of absurd.
And what's so amazing is and when you're as I said, when I was 5, I didn't realize how bad the shark looked. I was taking it so
right.
serious.
You're into it.
I thought, holy cow, the shark has Batman.
Yeah.
It was exciting, and the build up to it too is awesome. How they do the Batmobile, then the Batcopter, and imagine if you had never if you had seen it originally, you had never seen the Batcopter before, in the way they open it, and they have this and then you don't expect a shark encounter with the Batcopter. That was so neatly done.
Bobby, I've got something you've never seen before. Look in the chat.
I think I just saw that. I just saw that. Why did I know it was you?
Oh my god. Oh my god. What's some of your favorite scenes in this movie, Bobby?
My favorite is when when the Joker, Penguin, Riddler, Bruce Wayne, and Miss Kicker are on the jetpack umbrellas and they're flying in the air, and Robin says, "Holy Halloween!" Like I always like even though like this it's not a Halloween movie, I always associate with Halloween because I say it, but it is kind of because it has all the crazy costumes and all like the fun things, and I love that part. I love the Joker scene with Commodore Schmidlap, and I also I love the fight they do at the end too. I love like it's because it's so much more elaborate than the fights on the series. They really take advantage of it being a movie. I love all the stuff with the submarine, the bat boat. Like honestly, I think the whole thing's magnificent, and we have to talk about the bomb scene.
Right, which
You can't
is
get rid of it.
again high comedy, low comedy, and high comedy both at the same time.
It's so brilliant.
One of my favorite YouTubers has that as a super chat.
Yeah.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Right. You know it's coming as soon as you see the ducklings. It's like, no, it's not gonna happen.
You know, the thing I love, for one thing, anything involving Commodore Schmidlap in any of his guises is comedy gold in this, including the phrase "one whiff of bat gas," which is just magical. But the thing I really like is that the Joker decides to indulge himself in pretenses of professionalism in how he's going to take care of Commodore Schmidlap.
Right.
He's going to have a decent cruise, and the Joker's going to make sure it happens.
That's right.
And I love that. The Joker kind of takes this sort of seriously.
Right.
As maybe it's a second career. He's thinking about it.
He's going to be a steward.
He's going to be, he's just, it's like Andy Kaufman becoming a dishwasher.
Right.
In the middle of taxi and kind of really enjoying it. It's like I get the sea air, and this is Riddler. You should really try it. It's not bad. You have a sense of satisfaction. You know the day is done when you do that turn down and put the mint on the pillow, and you know they're going to be happy. It's kind of nice. It's real simple. And Batman's not going to come and ruin your day. He's not going to come and take the mint off the pillow.
No. The thing is, too, he has such glee with it. He doesn't, like you could go the other way with it and complain. Oh, I'm the one that has to go in and give him his tea this time.
No,
he doesn't do that at all. It's like, I'll take it.
Sure. I got tea. I can bring it to him. We're going to get millions of dollars for this.
That's right.
In exchange, I can bring him tea. It's better than being punched by Bruce Wayne again and again and again.
Exactly. I love it too because it fits him because he's playing a joke on Commodore Schmidlap. He's having so much fun doing this.
And maybe he's playing a joke on the world that expects him to be a supervillain all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's
right.
It's another one of those random moments by that character that he just
when he plays him, he's a different man behind closed doors. So
it truly, yes, he is.
And then in public, how he's the one who hits the button for the torpedoes.
Mm-hmm.
Like he has the ball hitting that torpedo button.
I was absurdity also of him repeating it on his radio call when he's the one pushing the button.
Alan, what's some of your favorite scenes?
Well, that's one of them. Fire number one. Woo, fire number one. And then he presses the button. It's like, what are you doing? It's that kind of absurdity of the crew and the whole milieu inside that submarine. It's not one particular scene, but I enjoy again. The repartee, particularly between Adam West and Burt.
Burt Ward.
Yeah, and how they are so earnest in their figuring things out.
They are in flawless agreement of what this art requires stylistically.
Right. Yes, they are absolutely. Apparently, they were really good buddies off the set as well, and hung out together an awful lot, which probably contributed to that, comfort level that they had on screen, for sure. So,
well, I mean, Bert Jervis was an Olympic runner-up for ice skating, and so he was a guy who was really good at something. And people who are really good at things, like Adam West was at acting, he's a fine actor, professional. Respect other people who have a thing that they're equally
good at. Right.
I think that probably was the beginning of their friendship. That, and because they had the same sense of humor about the show, they made each other look great.
And they also got beat up doing the show, so they had injuries to commiserate on constantly. Especially Bert. Bert got the crap.
Far worse than Adam.
Yeah.
Far worse than Adam.
Yeah.
There's the good Burt Ward story, though, that Bert tells in his autobiography, Boy Wonder, which is mandatory reading. It's filthy.
Yes, I know. They used to indulge in a lot of things together.
Yeah, but he's talking about all of the restraining devices that they had to have for his physique.
Yes.
Because his manhood was so pronounced.
Yes.
That they had to strap him down 8 ways to Sunday. And this is a long chapter about it. And then at the end, he just says, Adam, on the other hand, required none of these devices.
Some of my favorite scenes in this movie, you talk about that bomb scene, how exactly long that they do that tracking shot is really well done. Give credit to Adam West because he pulls it all off, and I give a lot of credit to Burt Ward too, as he gives it, Batman is, and then Batman just pops up like he's freaking Michael Myers. It's like, oh, hi, I'm here.
The panic in his voice is so genuine.
Yeah, and it works.
That bomb scene does not work without Adam West's treatment of it, because it goes on too long for most people.
Yeah.
But his sense of comedy allowed him to continue with that energy, that sort of stop and start stuff that's going on. I could get really frustrated here, but no, I have to keep going. All of the layers, and it's funny, and it's just funny.
It reminded, when I was a kid, it reminded me of, I think it was the Three Stooges Baby Gag, where they're passing the baby around with a dirty diaper or something. It's somebody, and it's like, it's that guy.
Sort of McLaughlin
hot potato gag. Yeah.
It's
Dr. Bond here.
Yeah. It's like here. It's really well done, and I really love the scenes with Catwoman without the mask and Bruce Wayne. Again, Adam West did a really good job of not just being Batman, but being Bruce Wayne as well. Really, really well done with his chemistry between his castmates and Burt Ward too. Burt Ward coming up with the idea of launching the bat signal, his character with Robin. And I love how West is brilliant. What? Yeah.
This movie was also an opportunity to expand the gadgets that were used in the television.
The props budget.
Yeah. It was, they had, they didn't just have the Batmobile. They had the helicopter. They had the boat. They had the
communicators. They had the scope.
That's right. And they had the motorcycle with the sidecar, with that detach. All of this great stuff. Fantastic.
The villains too, the Penguin submarine, and I mean they have the underwater model, but they have the full size, like the props they have the fight on, and the jetpack umbrellas.
Yeah.
And even like I have to say, I don't know if you guys noticed that, but the scene when they're all like sitting at the table discussing the plan of the United Worlds Council, they all, during that scene, and when they decide come up with that plan, each one of them has personalized pens. Like there's like there's like a little riddle thing on the riddle pen. There's a little cat thing on
nice little touch.
So like so it's like even like all like they like you could tell that they like. I mean, the show always had an amazing like prop department, but you could tell they were able to go like even more all out than normal.
I think that was the Joker. I think it was the Joker's touch to the decor. He was really hoping everyone would be impressed.
That's right. He was into stewardship.
At home.
Here's your pen.
Just a Martha Stewart kind of touch. And the Joker was dating Snoop Dogg at the time.
Oh boy.
So that was and smoking a lot of pot with him. So that all fit together.
That was before Snoop Dogg rehabbed his image. Yeah, that's right. He was chronic central.
Well, I don't think that has changed much.
No, but
Martha
it's not as central to his persona as it used to be.
It's not. It's not.
Yeah, he's still.
He and Martha are quite
yes, I'm
quite
sure.
flambéed.
Actually, you hear about the bat cuffs. Funny thing is, the game Batman Vengeance, that's where they got the concept of the bat cuffs from, was from this. So, which is the only Batman game you can slap handcuffs on people you knock out. So
It's a good idea.
It's before the Arkham games. So if anyone tells you the Arkham games are the first real Batman games, no, Batman Vengeance.
Because I've gotten in so many arguments with people about that every day, just at the bus stop or in the grocery.
Yeah.
And this settles
it. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I like the fact that with this series, of course, the advent of the utility belt in the comics, it just goes completely berserk in the television and the movie series. So it's just like it goes completely berserk. You don't just have the utility belts; you got all this other stuff, and it just it multiplies. And you get new things in a lot of the episodes throughout the series too.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
It also makes sense too when you think about it, not just from a comedy standpoint, but from a plot standpoint, because Bruce Wayne's a billionaire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got the money. I mean, that follows through all of the films too. I mean, he's got a tech company that builds all of his vehicles and all this sort of thing in the Dark Knight series. So yeah,
I'm sure he has Brock Peters in this era as Lucius Fox.
Oh, I forgot to say it earlier, but one of my other favorite scenes is when Batman has to talk to the Admiral on the phone.
Yes.
What?
when he says he sold the submarine to Pete and Gwyn, who only give him a post office box number. like that scene is so good.
The thing I love about that scene is that the whole engine of Batman works on characters ignoring and being unaware of the obviously absurd. And this is a moment in that mythos where something is so absurd, even Batman has to say, whoa, okay,
wait a minute. You didn't get his address? Yeah. And it's pretty clear the Admiral is sort of, he's been Peter Principled up beyond his capabilities with giggling with his secretary while answering.
He's so chummy. Oh, hello, Batman.
Yes.
It's Batman. He goes all the time.
Yes.
Maybe he does.
Yes.
Maybe he's bored. Boys lately? No? All right. Well, I got to be going. Okay, Batman. Goodbye.
Next Tuesday.
Favorite Batman villain, Bobby?
My favorite villain would be Cesar Romero Joker,
Mm-hmm.
and then like after the main four it would be Mr. Freeze.
There you go. Yeah.
Cool.
Patrick?
Was it Chandel?
Is that the
Liberace?
Yes.
Is that the Liberace
His
villain?
evil brother. He had an evil brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's obvious. I think the Shelley Winters villain. I think she was a villain at one point. Now, okay. So are we talking about TV Batman favorite villain or just favorite Bat villain in general?
Both. You can do both.
Well, favorite Bat villain in general is probably the Scarecrow, because he's the one who is legitimately as scary as Batman is to the criminals.
Yeah.
And none of them really ever touch that kind of just, oh my God, what the hell is this?
Right.
On the TV show as a recurring villain, you're never going to be able to. Well, I was about to say top Caesar Romero. You're probably good in the right mood, but surpass Caesar. I think just his maniacal energy and joy that he takes with it is exactly the right counterbalance for Adam West's restrained, kind of intentionally dry performance.
Yeah. Alan?
Yeah, it's got to be Cesar Romero. There's a great interview during the production of Batman. This woman from one of the LA Hollywood area television stations interviews him, and it's it's like 16 millimeter black and white film kind of an interview. You can find it on YouTube, and she talks and he's very, very relaxed with her. Incredibly, oh, Jay, I'll talk about this and blah, blah, blah. Well, it's wonderful, yes, well, and the golden age and blah, blah, blah. I mean, he's great. He's in his element, and it's so much fun to watch him as, sort of this human being who's also happens to be a, performer doing his thing. And he's out of makeup, and his mustache is like, or he's semi in makeup, I think, but the wig is not on or something. He's smoking his cigarette and doing his thing. So it's a lot of fun. But yeah, it's Butch all the way.
Yeah, mine would be Poison Ivy, obviously, a really cool villain. And yeah, Mr. Freeze.
Mm-hmm.
I've always enjoyed Mr. Freeze.
I always liked King Tut too, and was kind of cool in the original series. He was tricked out. I mean, he had one of the best costumes.
If they had, that required more fabric than 20th Century Fox knew how to get. There's a thing on YouTube about costuming Victor Buono for that part, and that his dimensions apparently
were quite
far exceeded.
Yeah.
Even the fattest of fat men back then.
Yes, he was an impressively sized man, no doubt about it.
Yeah, they didn't know how to handle it. I mean, it just kept going.
Yeah.
But I had always imagined when Joel Schumacher, who really got it right, was making those Batman movies, that if he had made another one, if he had made Batman Triumphant or whatever it was, that it would have been, because by then he's getting into like stunt casting.
Right.
That it would have been Howard Shore and Rush Limbaugh as Scarecrow and King Tut.
God.
And it would have been great.
Yeah.
Would have been great.
Yeah. No, if Scarecrow's a great villain.
I forgot to mention Vincent Price's Egghead too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Always good.
I think it was really, especially during the animated series, because Kevin Conroy was my Batman, who I grew up with. But I think it was really, really cool for them to get Adam West to voice the Grey Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about chills when you hear Adam West voice the Grey Ghost. It's really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Very underrated. It's a nod to the Shadow, obviously, but
Sure.
it's really, really good. So yeah, great episodes by him. Obviously, we know him as, formerly known as Mayor West from Family Guy. If you see,
Yes.
Look well. Television's immortal Ty Lookwell.
Yeah, Ty Lookwell was good.
That Adam West became, because there were a few years when he wasn't, became comfortable with the fact that he was going to be so readily identified with not only Batman, but the vocal cadences that Batman had and all of that sort of thing. When he got right with that, I think he had some fun in his life, and doing the cons and doing the voiceovers and doing the guest spots on various shows, right up not too long before he passed. Actually, he was working or busy and doing something.
I remember him, I grew up in the 1990s, and I remember him on the Goosebumps.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the popular horror anthology show for kids, and he did amazing in that. You would see him appear in all these different things, and it was always I remember always so special because it's Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even did you guys see the Return of the to the Batcave and not Return of I'm sorry, not Return of the Return of the Cape Crusaders.
Was it the animated thing?
Yeah, the animated one. Yeah,
right. They did 2 of them.
Yeah, and Batman versus Two-Face, and like he was amazing in that. Like he just like he was like perfect. He was perfect in it, you know.
Yeah, it was better than Batman versus Tupac, which I think was insensitive.
Especially the drive-by scene. Yeah, definitely.
Oh my God. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I highly recommend Mask of Phantasm if you haven't seen it. Great Batman movie.
Yeah, that's supposed to be like one of the ultimate classic.
It's very good. It's very good.
Yeah,
But,
it's really, really.
Joel, I'll just say, in terms of a BM, this was the most satisfying.
Yeah, I think from a movie standpoint, it's a movie you can look back and have fun with and still enjoy today. It's not a movie that takes itself too seriously, but it has serious moments that are just outright fun, even at my age of 43. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, definitely this movie gets a solid 9.5 out of 10 for me.
What are you, a commie? I give it a 10. I give it a 10. No room for improvement.
I give it a 10 because there's nothing quite like it.
Yeah.
It's its own thing. It stands alone. Aside from the series, but
I'll say this for. Go ahead, Bobby. Give your score. And
Holy mathematician, Batman! I give it a 10 too.
Yeah, I'll say this. Probably without this, because this movie too, along with the Matt Helm movies, there's movies we're not going to get like later on in the 80s, like Airplane and all this other spoofs we're going to get. This, I mean, really, Adam West did a really great job playing Batman and Bruce Wayne. Period. Did a good job.
He did.
Absolutely.
He did. It was amazing.
If you can sell a rayon cape, if you can sell that, you are a brilliant actor. Because
he's a brilliant actor. Because he did.
He did.
Yeah. All right.
All right. How's Friday, guys? I'm busy.
I'm open. What are you thinking about?
What do you want to do?
I'd like to do a double feature with you guys. It's called Vampire Hunter D and Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust.
These cartoons from these cartoons, right? From Vietnam or something.
No, these are
yeah, is this like Clutch Cargo? Do they put the lips over the guy? Okay.
No.
That's what you want me to do. That's what I'll do.
Okay.
In that case, we have to do What's Up, Tiger Lily at some point. I guess.
Oh my God.
Okay, send me the links and I will.
I don't know if I can find them, but I'll try to find them.
Okay.
That's what I'll say because I own the DVDs.
So they are Vampire Hunter what?
Vampire Hunter D.
Okay.
And Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust. Both movies are really, really fun.
Okay.
For Friday.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
Bobby, you're welcome to join us if you want Friday.
Oh, cool. I'd love to. Thank you.
I'd also like to, before we leave, I'd like to say an in memoriam to the actor Owen Orr, who I used to know personally. He was a Warner Brothers contract player in the 50s and early 60s, and he also appeared on the Batman television series as one of the henchmen of the Joker.
Cool.
Yeah. I worked with him in theater in the 1980s and early 90s. We did a bunch of shows together. So.
I'm so sorry for your loss too.
Hey, he's been gone for quite a while. he passed away about 25 years ago. At least according to his IMDb. But according to other sources, he hasn't died. So maybe he's still floating around up there. He'd be 90 years old. He was born in 1934. But he was a special friend to me. He kind of got me on the road to sobriety because he was a recovering alcoholic himself. He had quite a time in Hollywood during his heyday. Let's put it that way. He used to party with the Mamas and the Papas and do all that stuff back in the 60s. So, but he had a lot of wisdom and a couple of books for me to read when I was considering quitting drinking. And and ended up doing so a few years later.
Yeah. I remember as a teenager watching when MTV was, still doing music, and they were talking about like these parties going on, and I guess Wyclef Jean never got any sleep because Carson Daly was talking about this. He goes, "Yeah, I saw him at 1 a.m. Then I saw him at 3 a.m. He goes, I went home and went to sleep. He goes, I had to get up at 8 a.m. And he goes, guess who I saw? Wyclef Jean." I'm like,
yeah, Owen used to talk about the 10-year party they had at John Phillips' house, which would have been, I think, at that time, probably somewhere in Laurel Canyon, where a lot of the musicians were.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, he said it got a little too crazy after a while. So he also told the story where he woke up in Hawaii, didn't know how he got there. Turned out that he'd been given a job, a walk-on on a Hawaii Five-0 episode, but instead had found a bunch of drugs and had taken them and had completely lost like 3 or 4 days.
See, when my brother was alive, he said about my one cousin, they maybe potentially getting married.
Mm.
And I said, listen, if he throws an after party and we go to this after party, none of us are coming back alive.
Really? Yeah, some people are good at that. I had a friend who used to throw a 3-day
Or
weekend.
none of us are just coming back.
He used to throw a 3-day weekend party on Memorial Day weekend. It was called the Hurricane because if you went to this party, you got blown away.
Yeah. Some people party to the extreme for sure. Link to Alan Gallant's YouTube channel, Calling Sport After Dark. Link to Bobby Lugosi's channel. Lugosi Theater is going to be in the description box. And link to Patrick McCray's Dark Chat as Dave will come out. It's going to be in the description box. Guys, this was a lot of fun. Have a good night. I'll see you Friday.
You too. You too.
See you Friday.
Yep. Bye.